You might be familiar with the Assembly Visualization tool, which gives you the ability to view and sort the components in an assembly based on their properties. Assembly Visualization is a useful tool to visually see what your model contains. You can see the heaviest components, view only the components in a certain price range, or see how many of each component is needed to produce your design. These are all important factors that you may not be thinking about if you only focus on strength and size, but you can use this tool as a visual to see other properties and further optimize your design. SOLIDWORKS 2011 brings a couple of new enhancements to Assembly Visualization. You can now add more columns, as well as add multiple parameters for sorting. To activate Assembly Visualization, switch to the Evaluate tab of the Command Manager, where you'll find the icon. You might already know you can select to display subassemblies as flat, separate components, or nested as a single item in the table. And you might also be familiar with these default columns: file name, quantity, and the third customizable column. You can now add additional columns by expanding the table and selecting Add Column. This additional column works exactly like the third customizable one, where I can either change the property from the list or add a custom property. Just as easy as it was to add a column, you can also quickly delete a column by right-clicking on it and selecting Delete Current. Or you can expand the options and select Delete Current. One thing to keep in mind is that you need to have at least 3 columns, and you also cannot delete the file name or quantity columns. Another new feature is that you have the ability to add columns to the sort hierarchy, and this allows you to sort by 2 different properties at the same time. For example, I'll first sort the quantity from high to low, then I'll right-click on Mass and select Add to Sort Hierarchy. You can now see that items with the same quantity are also sorted by mass. If I had more columns, I could click and drag them to change the sort hierarchy, which works from left to right, but again, the file name and quantity columns here are unchangeable. If you ever want to remove a column from the sort hierarchy, right-click on it and select Remove from Sort Hierarchy. Another sorting option is the ability to apply the same color to components that have identical values. You can do this whenever you're sorting by a discrete value, such as by quantity or vendor. To activate this, right-click on a color slider and select Group Identical. SOLIDWORKS will then add additional sliders to apply a distinct color for each value. If you have a view that you would like to save, you can do so by setting it as a display state. First, expand one of the columns and select the option to Add Display State. Now, when I switch to the Configuration Manager, you can see an Assembly Visualization display state is added. Finally, you can export the Assembly Visualization list. Right-click on a column and select Save As. At the bottom of the Save dialog box, you have the options to save as top level only, parts only, or indented. These options will affect how subassemblies are viewed in the document. Just click Save and SOLIDWORKS will automatically create and save an Excel table with the same columns as your Assembly Visualization table.